Hello, Tinder babes. I'm here to talk to you about, guess what? Jewelry. We're doing something not new, but sort of new, but kind of new, but sort of old, but kind of amazing. We're giving you a brand new option, or several actually, ways to exemplify how magnificent and special and precious and wonderful and unique you are with your jewels. What I'm talking about, and this is coming from a tattooed lady here, we're talking about writing it down and putting it in the gold for posterity, and that is engraving. It's a beautiful, beautiful way to embellish simple, plain, gorgeous things and make them personal on your terms, in your way, with your things, with your messages, with your monogram, with your vision of what your jewelry can contain in terms of its meaning, and even things that are gifted, like to mark a moment in time, sharing in a memory. Yeah, it just goes on and on. We'll get into that a little bit more later though. I want to start by explaining a little bit about what makes the engraving that we offer so special. There's a lot of different kinds of engraving out there, and most of the time it's done nowadays with a laser, and which is beautiful and easy, and it can make for a very nice engraving, but it's basically just kind of a lightly burned onto the surface. Whereas what we do, because in my old school way of doing just about everything, coming from my blacksmithing background, I really like to actually do things with a tool, with a skilled artisan, and in a way that really feels precious and special, and kind of marks that transition between how the thing was before and how the thing was after this beautiful, talented person has conveyed your message into the metal. So I'm just going to show you a little bit here. This is what hand engraving looks like. See how it catches the light? It's like a beautiful cut into the metal sheen that you get from a hand engraved surface. And of course, this is an example of the different fonts that we use, but it's really just nice to sort of convey to you guys like how and why this is. It's not cheap, but it's done by an artisan. So the way that we go about it is we're giving you two kind of options here: monograms and messages. With the monogram, you're familiar with our cutie little signet rings that we've been making. I have made already, of course, the signet rings that have the little tiny initials, the deco initials in the circle. You can obviously make these in all the different gold colors. We even gave you a little shiny bobby option. But the thing that we didn't have yet, which I'm very excited about, is the monogram version. You've seen these before. It's just a classic. To be able to do these sort of initial monograms. We have them set up so that you can have either two initials, so you could be first name, last name. If you changed your last name, maybe you're interested in doing your first name, maiden name, married last name. But the idea is that you can do 2 or 3 interlocking letters. They're hand engraved in this gorgeous, like, old time kind of script. It's beautiful and flourishy and wonderful. And we'll show you some up close pictures of that now. In terms of the messages on the bands, as well as on the pendants, you can choose between 2 different font styles. We have a beautiful classic hand script, or cursive, one of the most fastest disappearing languages on earth, but it still looks beautiful. Most people can read it, and if you're old like me, you learn to write it on lined paper. But the hand engraving with the script is just gorgeous. It feels much more romantic and kind of classic and simple in its own sort of way. And then we have styrene, which is our beautiful branded font. That's sort of a sans serif, and you can see an example of that here in the diamond ring and also on the Taos pendant. And then we have messages. Messages can be oh so many things, and believe you me, honey, we have engraved some very, very risque things, some very sweet things, some hilarious things. It's pretty amazing to think about. And in terms of that message engraving, obviously we do a lot of wedding bands, but not all bands have to be for the wedding. I personally like this one as a pinky ring. This one's engraved with a date on the inside. So that would be a sweet little secret just between you and yours. We also have messages engraved on the inside, like this one, for example. Beautiful classic band, engraving, secret message, just for you. The other way to do the message engraving is on the outside of a band, and I'll show you a few examples of that. Here we have one of our classics that says "All for Love." And then here's one of my personal favorite tomes about it being written in the stars. One of the other and very new additions is our gorgeous little engravable discs. These sweet little jammy jams can go onto your talisman necklace or onto a necklace that you already have. I'm looking forward to adding one to my necklace. But they're just cute little discs. They come in different gold colors. And again, we have these hand engraved because they're round. You have to think about, you know, shorter verbiage or stacking the two things. So we have a couple examples here with a place and a date and a name and a date. So for example, we had to get Taos 10/19/19 for an example, because that's my wedding day. The other one is Susan. We won't say how old she is, but she is a Scorpio. Didn't want to leave her out. But yeah, you could get an engraved disc for your child's name and birthday, for a moment in time, like a graduation or a magical trip that you made, or when you joined a certain club, or when you got married, obviously, when you did something special. Or it could just be a nickname, a pet name, something sweet that you want to keep near your heart. But the idea is that, you know, these things are up to you, and you define what ceremony is, and you define what's precious to you. And I'm not here to tell you that, even as a person that makes precious things, because I know that these little tiny bits of gold become even more precious, just outsize, enormous amounts of precious once you have them. And that's the thing that makes my job so special. So in closing, now that I've walked you through all this gorgeous little messaging and monogramming, I can't wait to see what kind of beautiful messages you come up with, secret or otherwise, nicknames, salty or sweet, and places, times, moments, people that are precious and special and sacred and indelible to you. And on that last little note of indelible, I'm just going to leave you with a tidbit of fun. I have a message engraved inside my lip, and only my husband, my family, some of my closest, oldest friends, and my dentist know what it is. But I'll let you guess in the comments.